S-tier champions at the moment. Let's see what Kuala Lumpur Hunters decide to remove here. Remember, Aatrox has been the usual go-to ban on red side for throughout the group stage. I'm expecting it to be the ban, but let's see what Kuala Lumpur Hunters decide to go for here. Will be the Morgana.
It's like the Morgana off of rocks. Archangel, no hesitation whatsoever, gonna be locking in that Aatrox for themselves. So actually, pretty great performance on this particular champion during their qualifying match, which led them to represent the Philippines as the second seed.
Yeah, but you have to think about the trend so far. Throughout the group stage, most of the Aatrox games have been very underwhelming. The players who have picked us up, such as Kaigo and Shinsekai yesterday, really didn't perform that well on that champion. So I wonder why the teams are putting so much value on that particular pick. We're yet to see an Aatrox actually pop off. As for Kuala Lumpur Hunters, they will be picking up the Malzahar series. Something a bit out of the box, in my opinion.
I'd have to agree with you. Malzahar has something that we haven't really seen as much in popularity, like way back when he had his prime, suddenly went downscale with the constant nerf that he got left and right. So, would love to see how Kuala Lumpur Hunters will be utilizing that. But meanwhile, looks like the Tom Kench will be locked in. Gonna grant a lot of safety for Azora Vecchi in that laning phase, even in the team fights.
Well, of course, Malzahar as a champion does provide a lot for your team. Does give you pick potential, does give you engage, and what champion denies those? It is the Tom Kench. I like that they decided to pick both the Malzahar and Tom Kench in the same rotation, because Tom Kench would have definitely been the go-to for Archangel to deny that Malzahar engage with his ultimate. So I like the draft so far coming out from the first seeds of Malaysia.
Meanwhile, Rai is going to be the locking along with Braum for Archangel right here. So definitely a lot of clarity here with where these champions are going to be going. Of course, a Kindred priority potentially coming in from, actually not potentially coming in, already locked in for the Kuala Lumpur Hunters right there for Caspio.
Yeah, and as we head into this second banning phase, Arctic, since there's no marksman yet on the side of Archangel, that's where I'm expecting KLH to go, but it seems they decided to go in opposite direction as me. They're gonna ban out more of Nixta's champion pool, and actually now that I've thought about it more, if Kuala Lumpur Hunters did do their research, Zensho did not play that many marksmen. Usually he's falling back to champions such as the Vigar for the bot lane pick, so that's something that KLH want to watch out for. We're waiting on their final match. Could be Graves if they're targeting Nixta. Actually will be the Olaf. Not wanting that matchup into the Kindred. So a lot of resources here for Caspiel. There's actually 4 jungle bans on the side of KLH. Okay, you're gonna ban away the Jace here from Shiro,
leaving out of a lot less power as far as what Nixta could be using for Archangel. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and check out what KLH doesn't have yet. Of course, we're still looking for something for Azora Vecchi.
Varus, maybe?
Could be.
Varus could be their selection here. It does synergize well with their comp, adding more pick potential alongside the Malzahar. So they're gonna leave their top lane pick for counter. They don't necessarily have to rush selecting the matchup for Ivalice in the top lane. Archangel, they're going way down the tier list here. Will Zensho go for the Ashe? It is locked in. The Ashe Braum bot lane against Varus and Tom Kench. Normally, we wouldn't see the Ashe pick into a Tom Kench, as Tom Kench directly counters what Ashe can do as far as value goes. Archangel will round out their draft with the Graves for Nixta. Now, I'm thinking of what Shiro can bring to the top lane to lane against Ivalice. I'm thinking either a Gnar or a Kennen to deal with the Aatrox if he wants to go with the carry route. Could go tanky if he wants to. Sion!
There we go. That's what.
Okay.
That's something that I was kind of looking for there, because a lot of the Kuala Lumpur Hunters picks prior to that sign being locked in, a lot of single. Well, I mean, if you're gonna look at Varus, look at Malzahar, of course, those ultimates can only go onto a single target. I would have loved to have seen something that had a lot more pow, a lot more impact in team fights. Sion definitely one of those picks that can accomplish just that.
I really like the I like the top lane picks for this game specifically. But speaking of top lane picks, I'm looking at Archangel's side. The Rise and the Aatrox haven't swapped. We might see another top lane Rise like we saw yesterday, with Trevor actually taking the Aatrox mid lane against Arhedge's Malzahar. So This is an interesting switch up by Archangel, putting the Aatrox mid lane once again. We did have this time in the game where mid smite Aatrox was meta, but right now I'm not sure this is the best pickup for Archangel.
What does that mean in terms of matchup, though? I mean, by not sending the Rise in the mid lane, just swapping that in between players here for Archangel, like, how does that matchup actually match up now that the Aatrox is going up against a Malzahar? Our Rise, in perspective, will be going up against a Scion.
Well, it does give Rise a pretty free laning phase. It does allow him to farm up, scale up on his mana items, because realistically, the Scion shouldn't have any sort of kill pressure onto the Rise. But looking at mid lane, I feel like Trevor has to pick up an early QSS to deal with the pick potential from both the Malzahar ultimate and the Varus coming in from the bot lane with Abyssal Voyage available. I'm looking at the comp of Kuala Lumpur Hunters, and I'm really looking forward to them hitting level 6, because that's when they all really can shine.
With that said, though, in terms of what ideally you'd want to accomplish with both sides having picked their compositions, what would be the key win condition for Archangel and Kuala Lumpur Hunters respectively?
Now, I'm feeling the level 6 picks coming away from Kuala Lumpur Hunters. I feel like there's a lot of ways they could single out a target.
True.
From the side of Archangel. And as for Archangel, I'm really surprised to see an Ashe come out from Zensha. I feel like a Jhin would have been a safer pick in this particular situation, since he has bigger range. He doesn't necessarily need to step near the Malzahar and the Varus. So I guess Archangel is just gonna go for a bit of more comfort here.
True. So there you have it, guys. Both sides. Again, quick recap of what has been locked in. Let us know from wherever you're watching, whether it be Facebook Live, YouTube Gaming, and Twitch. So who you're supporting, hashtag ArcWin or hashtag KLHWin. I'm not going to let this hold on any further. See you guys on the Rift, and let's go. And there you Let's get it on, ladies and gentlemen, because this is a game that I've been anticipating for day 2 of Group B. What a better way to start? Archangel and Kuala Lumpur Hunters taking the stage. Of course, high expectations for both sides. Only one can triumph. Of course, we'll just let how things transpire on the Rift dictate just how that'll go down as we head on to Summoner's Rift.
No, I have high expectations for Archangel in this particular game, but at the same time, you have to look at the opposite side of the map, and look at that pink Scion.
Wow, I actually have not seen that one yet. Actually, didn't. Was that a chroma?
That was a chroma on Mecha Zero.
I didn't know that they had a chroma for that. Actually,
I know
it looks pretty darn neat.
I don't like the purple Aatrox. I feel like if you play this skin, you need to have the white chroma, or just don't play a chroma at all. But I'm really liking the skin choice from Shiro in the top lane. Look at that. It's so pink.
Yeah, that's not a color that I would have expected on a Mecha Scion, let alone just Scion in particular. But
are you saying Scion can't rock pink?
It's not his color, in my opinion.
Why not?
It's not. It's not.
I mean, what's more of a Scion color?
You know, I really like the reds and the blacks and those really deep apocalyptic colors on a Mecha Scion. But nonetheless, ladies and gents, let's go ahead and check out what's going on here. Note that both junglers starting off with their red buffs respectively. So what this means, of course, there's going to be a different transition as far as pathing for both sides here.
And since both junglers decided to start red buff, I'm expecting both of them to try and look for an early gank. Normally, if the junglers would have opted just power farm, you'd start blue buff and not touch your red buff at all, because it is the buff that helps you with when it comes to ganking. So I'm really expecting them to try and look for a gank in either lane they're going to end up in after their first clear.
Well, it is interesting to note that Caspiel, after red buff, went straight for blue buff. Meanwhile, of course, next clearing out another camp towards bot side before transitioning for his... Actually, no, goes straight for Scuttle Crab right here alongside Caspiel. So I'm wondering how that'll make as far as what actual transitions they will go for with who they gank first.
Caspiel's going to get an invade here, but he's going to see that the Raptor camp is gone. So he knows where Nixta is on the map right now. They know he's around top side. He can go for an invade onto the Krugs, which is a pretty smart move as a jungler. I wonder if Nixta will mirror this movement. He can dash over the wall, go straight for the Krugs.
Caspiel, nice takeoff right here. Good read on where Nixta would be lingering on this map. Of course, Rox might actually be checking this out, though not really going for it. But it looks like Nixta gonna be doing exactly the same, clearing out. Will we be seeing a gank here, though? A little bit tricky with the earlier levels. Caspiel actually jumping in to get a few hits onto Rox and Zensho. Just a few scratches, really. Of course, Rox able to block that out. But quite the linger happening from Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Looks like they really want to go for something.
Can they actually get anything from this dive? For the most part, I feel like they could only get a few summoner spells here. They're buying a lot of time for Nixta to actually steal away this camp, but in the end, I think they'll just end up even.
Yeah, we'll just back away for now. Shiro actually, of course, getting a feel of what has been going on. We'll spot out Nixta taking those camps. Of course, Nixta just gonna get a little bit of an auto attack right there. Let
It
Shiro
feels
off.
weird that a water gun can deal damage,
Actually.
but he's a robot. So if you think about it, is he waterproof?
Gonna rust up pretty easily.
Yeah.
Okay.
Physics in League of Legends.
Yep, there you have it.
Doesn't necessarily work all the time, but sometimes it does make sense.
Ish. But looking at this bot lane, it has been a constant shove-in coming from Azora, Veki, and Superior here. So Zensho and Rox just kind of restrained to just allowing whatever waves coming out them farm up on that. And it's really translating in terms of the CS difference between Zensho and Azora Veki, 24 to 35. So of course, with the waves pushing in onto Zensho, Zensho naturally may be missing out on a few just because of turret hits that throw off the calculations of last hits.
The mid lane though, our edge gets pulled back.
Oh, Ignite being popped by Trevor right there. Of course, a flash was forced off from our hedge, which will signal a retreat from the mid laner of the Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Has teleport though, so could easily make his way back to lane.
And before that flash burn in the mid lane, I like the invade by Caspiel. Remember that earlier he walked by the Raptor camp of Nixta and was able to time when it would respawn. That's why he was able to get the steal onto it. So he has a timer on that Raptor camp. Won't be surprised to see him go back to it once more.
Bit of a shove in here coming in from top side of Archangel, but it's been pretty calm overall, in all fairness. We haven't really seen any impact from the junglers just yet. If anything, Caspiel and Nixta have been, well, more so Nixta has been heavier on focus in farming. Caspiel did try to go for that attempt earlier towards bot side, tried to potentially juggle damage with that Tomkinch earlier. Didn't quite work out for them though, but looks like Caspiel back on trap on farming up, but both sides going to be meeting each other here though. Interesting, very interesting. Two members jumping in onto Nixta. Of course, that'll be the flash out straight away. Rox and Zensho will be quick on their feet for the response, trying to get those stacks onto Caspiel. Looks like he will be A-OK, but that will be mission abort from Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Flash away from Nixta though, so that's a summoner spell expended nonetheless.
I feel like that would have been an instant first blood had the bush not denied vision of Nixta for 1 second, allowing him to flash away from the Malzahar. If Arhedge had this flash available, that would have been a flash follow. But speaking of flashes,
yeah, looks like they're going to go straight for this bot lane right here. Superior going to grant that safety to Azora Veki, but still the constant chase. One more stack on to Tom Kench. That will do the trick, but they will back away upon realizing that Caspiel already making his way towards this bot lane. Is he going to try for something though? Because Archangel already under the safety of their turret, but Arhedge, that's a different story. Nixta might get caught off here. Take note, flash is already down for the jungler of Archangel. That will be the hold coming in from Arhedge. Not enough mana though to pursue. Roxy going to block away the damage from the Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Densho going to rack away onto that Kindred, but luckily no casualties from the side of Archangel. They make it out alive.
yeah, not in range to pick up the kill onto that. Remember, Arhedge did use the Ignite from his unsealed spellbook, but Nixta was just healthy enough to survive all that damage. Nothing yet happens. You did mention the early game was playing pretty passively, Arctic. It seems like we still don't get our first blood.
Yep, a lot of time committed from both sides to try to make something happen there. And you have to take note, with Arhad spending a lot of time towards that bot side, that just gave a lot of more free reign from Trevor here. But if anything, doesn't really translate in terms of the CS differences that we're seeing here. In fact, it's pretty dead even.
And I'm looking at the items from Arhead here. He decided to go for an early Boots of Lucidity, so he wants more up to him. Oh, he flashes in a straight line!
Yautza, that's going to be the hold coming in onto Azora Vecca. Ignite is ticking. Will it be enough? The one auto attack and first blood will be going to Zensho of Archangel. Team Philippines represent.
You shouldn't flash in a straight line against Ash Old Arctic. That's the lesson learned right there. Hopefully next time he has flash up, he'll flash sideways. So first blood on the Filipino team's side. I'm already smiling.
I wouldn't be so happy just yet, Chisto. But with that said, though, Kuala Lumpur Hunters right there, a little bit unfortunate for Azora Vecchi. Of course, Nixa will be joining the fray towards bot side. Looks like want to get some pretty good damage on this turret. But of course, great move from Arhej and Castiel. Very quick on their feet. Trevor lingering towards the side as well. So the numbers are definitely still actually equal right now, with Azora Vecchi already making his way back to lane there.
Zensho and Rox need to recall fairly soon. They are currently at an item disadvantage, and they don't want to allow Azora Vecchi and Superior to shove this lane because they will get a lot of CS denied. Smart stuff there by Zensho. Opting to recall, of course, not having teleport yet. Still on cooldown, not going to be able to get back to lane sooner. Did go back and pick up a recurve bow here, so it seems like the Ash is going for the Blade of the Ruin King build, if I'm not mistaken. No crit here for Zensho.
They're pushing in right here towards bot lane for Archangel, but look at that turret. They're actually both turrets from both sides here have taken quite the sizable amount of damage as a result of the investment coming in from Archangel and KLH constantly within these near first 10 minutes of the game. But looks like Shiro and Caspiel have their own shenanigans up their sleeve. Nixta has to be careful. Gonna get spotted out by two members of KLH right there. That's gonna be slow coming in from Shiro. Gets the full lockdown. Caspiel gonna follow up with the damage. Nixta not standing a chance. Will get taken down. One kill going to the pride of Malaysia.
Smart invade there by Kuala Lumpur Hunters. There were no wards placed yet by both the mid and top lane of Archangel. I don't see any blue wards aside from the one that they just placed. They find a hole in the vision. They find a pick-off on the next good invade by Caspiel and Shiro.
Oh man, I really like the proactivity coming in from Caspiel and Arhej constantly towards the jungle side of Archangel. That goes to say, since Kuala Lumpur Hunters has been having free reign of roaming freely towards the jungle side of Archangel, what I would have really hoped to see from Archangel at this point is at least defensive vision, because that at least lessens the freedom that KLH would have otherwise had, but it's been an advantage that KLH will happily capitalize on.
Yeah, and speaking of vision, I'm not seeing any control wards in the inventory of Archangel. You need to buy wards if you want to win in this game, but yeah, still pretty much an even game, Arctic. 11 minutes in. Gold lead, kill score, towers even. Caspiel did take down the Rift Herald though, so if they're able to utilize that properly, they can easily take down towers. Next, they're gonna trade another neutral objective on the map though. Cloud Drake gonna go down pretty much freely here. Nobody on the side of Kuala Lumpur Hunters is close to even contest this.
Yep, good timing here coming in from Archangel. Not even a sniffer away from KLH on this Dragon take. And that will be it right there. Looks like Archangel already starting to make an offensive maneuver on their own towards the jungle side of Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Just going to establish offensive vision though. I'm wondering, will it lead to an eventual set here towards bot side though? Or is it just going to be mostly denying camps here from Caspiel, who's already making his way?
There's no Tom Kench here. If Archangel finds out that Superior has recall, they can go for another arrow onto Zarbeki.
Ooh, okay, that was an angle off for Zensho. Looks like Archangel will continue though. Knockup coming in from Rox, and that damage won't be enough. That was weird.
How come? We're expecting Azora Vecchi to die?
Well, almost, because I mean they already went full commit. With the arrow missing, they still went for it. Rox getting the knockup, but follow-up damage wasn't as enough, but then again, understandably, just because KLH was already starting to converge towards that bot lane, heavily missed out opportunity by RNG, and looks like they're going to pay for it dearly with the numbers coming from KLH. Great play right there. First turret will go to the Kuala Lumpur Hunters, but looks like they're not done just yet. Rift Herald has been spawned right here. Archangel, they have quite the defense to put up.
Remember, there's no key ultimates on the side of Archangel. No Glacial Fissure and Arrow means that they can't engage onto Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Unless they use a teleport from Ivalice.
Coming in from the backside, gonna try to lock down Caspiel here. Caspiel, of course, gonna style his way.
Oh,
finishes! Unfortunately, doesn't make it over the wall. Looks like Lamster Spite will be popped up with 5 members of Archangel on his tail. That's a good done deal. Ivalice will be the one getting the kill, but man, that was so unfortunate.
Brother Caspiel. Quite unfortunate. You know, you have to feel bad for that failed flash. It's never a nice thing to see, Arctic.
No.
Never a nice thing to see.
Oh, that was such a shame. Almost made it out of there. Was a few steps short of being in range so that he could go over that wall. But, man.
Or that could have been intended. He was baiting Archangel in.
For to flash over the wall as well.
Yes.
Okay.
There's an
arrow flying from Zensho. Not quite finding a smart. Unfortunately, Archangel not able to scare off Azora Vecchi forward enough just so that arrow could connect. But Arhedge going to join the fray. That will be the lockdown right there onto Nixta. Health is ticking right there. Sion going to speed his way through Tokyo, drifting on Summoner's Rift, baby. Double kill for Shiro. Will Trevor be the next to follow? Resurrects, and looks like he will indeed. Arhedge gets the kill. Kuala Lumpur Hunters coming up on top.
Yeah, great aim there by Shiro. Able to land the ultimate, executes next with the Sion ultimate, and Kuala Lumpur Hunters are going to be rewarded with this tower in the mid lane.
Not much that Archangel could do right there. And again, it's all coming down to KLH knowing when to pull the trigger once all those resources that otherwise would have swayed fights in Archangel's favor are exhausted.
You know, I'm enjoying that Sion ultimate. I do believe we get to see it here. You see, the arrow is way off.
Way off.
Zensho was aiming for top lane, but see, the teleport comes in here from Arhead, so he's able to get a good ultimate here onto Nixtas. No QSS yet, no protection. Here comes the Sion. Executes Nixta with the Sion ultimate. Great stuff here by Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Which of course leads to that tower, but yeah, another big victory for KLH.
That was tricky for Archangel right there. And just like that, looks like easily slowly putting KLH on the map here. Goal difference isn't as significant just yet, but it's been pretty clear. KLH, I like how most of the moves that they're making across the map have been one step ahead, much more proactive than what we've been seeing from Archangel so far.
I also think one big factor was that Zensho's arrow missed, because if that arrow had landed, it would mean that Archangel were in control of the engagement. Speaking of engages, is the teleport arrow?
Misses once again. Zensho. Looks like that will be a trip. Okay, so looks like won't be making the trip in the end, but again, all these misses. A lot more misses than hits from Archangel, and we see what happens if ever prolonged team fights happen wherein KLH decides to capitalize on those breaks down.
You know, whenever Zensho misses his arrow, that's 1 minute where Archangel can't set up for any place across the map. He's their only form of engage in this game, and if they want to start fights against KLH, that's really the key, landing your arrows, but it just hasn't worked out aside from that first one in the bot lane where Azora Vecchi misplayed.
You know what? I'm actually glad that you brought that up, because looking at Archangel's composition earlier, but looks like I hear somebody drifting though. Looks like it will be Shiro joining the fray. Zensho gonna try to back away. Lockdown gonna be going on to Ivalice. Actually manages to block out quite a bit, but still with the barrage of damage coming from KLH, will manage to potentially survive to tell the Trevor making his way for the backline, takes down Azora Vecchi. Rock's gonna try to slow down Caspiel right there, puts up the shield. Ivalice will release a full barrage right there. Not able to land that skill shot lands respite has been caught by Caspiel. Numbers are looking pretty darn good for the Kuala Lumpur Hunter. Shiro gonna flash in for the kill onto Trevor, and it's only gonna be Ivalis in what ends in a 1-4-4 in favor of hashtag Team Malaysia represent.
Yeah, Shiro is massive on this Zion. 3-0 and 3. There seems to be nobody on Archangel that can answer him just yet. Just a massive front line. You know, we need to see QSSs come out on the side of Archangel, because unless we see that defensive item, it's very easy for Kuala Lumpur Hunters to start fights. But speaking of starting fights, you see the Chain of Corruption lands onto Zensha, and there's not enough support on his team. Just get out for now, but he gets run down here by the Casper. But on the other side of the fight, Shiro just massive on the sign, blocks away all of the damage. He's stacking both Ivalis and Nixta. There's nobody to deal with this Zion. That's mainly the reason why KLH get the big win in this fight.
Yeah, and Archangel towards the end of this fight was absolutely scattered. I don't
So
know.
he doesn't care. He doesn't care at all.
Again, it all comes down to how I love KLH has constantly been on the same page as a team. We haven't really seen that as much from Archangel, but then again, I don't think it's less of the synergy, it's more of what tools that they have to work with this composition. I feel like there's a lot of reliance towards Zensha and Rox to try to lock down a person from Kuala Lumpur Hunters. If that doesn't work out, then that's where problems kind of start to go about left and right as far as what team fight potential has Archangel when contending with the Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
Yeah, and the issue here, Arctic, is the members of KLH don't have to buy QSS, except for Superior as well. Made me sort of... Never mind, but yeah, since they have the Tom Kench on their team, only the Tom Kench has to invest in buying QSS this early into the game. As long as Zensha... If Zensha lands his arrow on a different member, aside from the Tom Kench, he can easily eat them up and they're safe. If it does land onto the Tom Kench, he can use QSS and he's fine as well. So that basically shuts down everything that Archangel wants to do. As for KLH, they have a lot of stuff to start fights here, and it's really allowing them to dictate this game.
Yes, and that's kind of unfortunate when you're Archangel. Look at the differences in gold right now. Every single person on Kuala Lumpur Hunters toppling over their counterparts, and that's not a good sign. Again, it's kind of the game earlier wherein it's not like day one wherein there was just one solid point of focus of power. It's a great spread, and of course, there's not a single person on Archangel that could potentially match that unless we see those outplays, but I wouldn't necessarily say Archangel doesn't have a fighting chance just yet. We're only seeing a 5,000 of a gold difference, but they need to start to make things happen now. If they at least want to prevent Kuala Lumpur Hunters from further boosting their difference in gold.
Yeah, and if you go back to pick and ban, Arctic, you have to mention the priority that Archangel decided to put on this Aatrox. It feels as if KLH actually baited it to come out. We did mention most of the Aatrox games we've seen have been underwhelming, and once again, this is a very underwhelming game from an Aatrox.
Again, and we were kind of looking at the picks here coming from Kuala Lumpur Hunters, wondering just how the Malzahar would fare, and I think we're seeing the results, to be quite honest, wherein KLH just utilizing what they have practiced, not really leaning towards what has been a power in the general scene. And sometimes it's that type of decision making you want to make as early as drafting to win a game, and quite frankly, it's working beautifully for the Tigers.
Even if Malzahar isn't necessarily the most meta mid laner at the moment, he still provides a pretty straightforward tool to your team, which is his ultimate, where as long as you're able to play around the engage whenever he has his cooldowns, as long as Arhedge can flash ult a target that doesn't have QSS, he's always going to be an effective pickup here for KLH.
Man. KLH really starting to make sure those waves are pushing. Of course, we're already past that 20-minute mark. So, of course, all eyes, the eye of the tiger right now for KLH going to be on Baron Nashor.
The eye of the tiger, you say?
Yep. I've been waiting to use that.
Are we expecting a Rocky montage from you? Where you run up the stairs?
I wish we could play the music in this game, but that's going to be copyright problems. So.
Where you punch dead pigs?
No, is that how it goes?
No, you remember?
I never watched the movie, actually. So
why do you get to the reference? I feel like you need to watch the movie so that you can properly understand the Eye of the Tiger.
I'll probably binge watch it after the Conquerors. Oh man. But anyway, Archangel trying to set up a defense right here, not allowing the waves that Kuala Lumpur Hunters are pushing in onto them to do just that. Because the moment that all these waves push in, it just gives quite the leg up for KLH to try to go for a Baron push. Probably bait Archangel into a response.
You
But
know,
we'll see.
Nixta really hasn't had the best game. Consider that his champion pool was extremely pinched during pick and ban. Currently, he is on the Graves, and I had one friend tell me that when you're playing Graves, if you're ahead, you buy Stormrazor.
Okay.
If you're behind, you're buying Black Cleaver. And I'm looking at his items. He's building Black Cleaver.
Okay. Fair.
Violet!
Oh,
Okay.
Arhedge though, luckily already has that clear off of there, but ooh, of course Archangel gonna try to go for a set here. It's Trevor that's in the front line. Roman of Resurrection, but Shiro once again speeding his way through. Evelyn's trying to hit from the back line, but Nixta managing to take down Caspiel. Could this be an opportunity for Archangel to take note? That Rise is looking pretty darn healthy. But Archangel, can they pursue though? Not really much tools that they could work with. We'll try to go for a roll more right there. Shiro gonna try to go for a hold. Kind of knocks up nobody from Archangel, but I guess that's a small victory for Archangel with that pickup on the jungler of KLH.
Yeah, the pick off by Nixta onto Caspiel is actually big. Unfortunately, their members aren't healthy enough to actually go for a Baron. Zoraveki did stick around here in the mid lane. Seems like Archangel are just going to pick up that single kill, but no objectives. That's the important thing here. For the Malaysian squad, they didn't give up any objectives on the map. Just that one kill onto their jungler, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be happy with that.
French are going to be dealing with this wave towards bot lane, but yeah, I really like how it's been do or die with how Archangel has been playing the past few minutes. Not really wanting to give up any further opportunities to Kuala Lumpur Hunters, and it pretty much worked out by that Kindred pick right there. Definitely a nice step up. Ideally, you want to get much more value, but considering that it is Archangel that's playing from behind, they ideally want to take anything that they can at this point.
Yeah, you're going to want to secure a few more towers. Archangel hasn't actually secured any towers yet. I see a lot of damage onto the top lane one, but no outer turrets being taken down just yet.
True.
I see some QSSs already on the side of Archangel. I'm expecting the Null Magic Mantle in Nixta's inventory to become a QSS, but Mountain Drake has just spawned. I think Archangel wants to fight for this, but consider that KLH do have vision control in the area.
That is a crazy amount of vision in that one soul brush from the Kuala Lumpur Hunters. And looks like they'll be going for a Mountain Drake this time around. Definitely a much welcome objective if you're KLH when you want to topple down the rest of Archangel structures here. But Castiel jumping in, gets a little bit of damage onto Nexta, jumps right back into the comfort of his teammates. Archangel already starting off this Mountain Drake. Arhedge already making his way though. Teleport is up for that Malzahar regardless. And looks like it's going to be a tug of war for this Dragon. It potentially
I like this.
might break out into all-out war. Dragon a little bit confused here. Will be retreating to regenerate a tad bit of health. Passive is down for Arhedge. That's going to be the initiate coming in from Shiro. Goes straight for the backline. Whilst the rest of Archangel try to go for who remains in that backline. Right, damage is not enough though with Nixa and Ivalice isolated from the rest of their members. KLH, they're in constant pursuit right now. Archangel goes for a mission aboard. They're trying to back away. Zencha tries to go for the slow onto Caspiel. Rock's going to try to hold the fort. Nixa goes straight in. Tries to go for Shiro. One more hit. Flash, unfortunately, not going to be triumphant. 1-for-1 trade there in the Dragon Pit so far. Looks like they're trying to go for more. Archangel, can they though? Caspiel looking very, very low. Arhedge low on mana. Both sides call it quits for now in what ends in a 2-for-1. Take note, still in favor of the Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
Yeah, I wonder what KLH should go for here. Did they oh, they're gonna go for Baron. They have the Kindred, they have the Varus. They can actually rush this down. I wonder how fast Archangel can actually get back here.
Cause and effect. Luckily, Arhedge had that teleport up. Makes for an easier response here onto KLH, but Archangel are slowly creeping, but unfortunately not in the nick of time. KLH secure that Baron quite easily. Archangel, this is gonna be a challenge for them.
Yeah, what a decisive call from Kuala Lumpur Hunters to use the Tom Kench ultimate to rotate to that Baron. They knew that the members of Archangel had to back off after that team fight. Great rotation means they secure the Baron. Makes things a bit harder for Archangel, but I do believe we have a replay of that Dragon fight. Let's see how that went down now. At the start of this, both teams are actually deciding whether or not we want the Dragon or we want the team fight. And Shiro says, I want the team fight, screw the Dragon. He pulls the trigger and zones out the main damage healers on the side of Archangel. He buys so much time for the rest of this team to focus down the Aatrox, and Trevor just doesn't fulfill the same role as Shiro in this situation. So, it's the main reason why KLH won the start of this fight. Now, Nixon does his best to try and trade one kill back, but that was always going to be a one-way trip for Archangel's jungler.
And with that said, though, Baron already on KLH's side. Look at the gold difference. Pretty much playing around that 7k difference in favor of the Hunters. And Archangel, I'm somewhat having deja vu of game 1 earlier, wherein they're going to have to mount a pretty solid defense this time around, fighting from such a deficiency, not to mention.
But to be fair, Arctic, this game has lasted longer than game 1.
True.
We're already at 28 minutes, so it will be a bit more time before Kuala Lumpur Hunters can actually end the game. But note that double Mountain Drake can help them shred these towers pretty quickly. It is an attack speed virus, not the on-hit lethality type, so he will be dealing quite a bit of damage to these towers. Of course, Archangel does have decent wave clear, but it's mainly on Nixta's Graves. He needs to be the one clearing these minion waves and stepping forward, but whenever he steps forward, he's always under threat of Chain of Corruption, of the Malzahar ultimate landing on top of him. Seems like Archangel want to fight. You have to back off.
What I find interesting here for Kuala Lumpur Hunters, the stars have kind of allied for them here. They have the Baron buff. They have 2 Mountain Drakes to boot, which makes for easier takedowns on the structures of Archangel. Look at how fast that turret's going to go down. That's going to be locked down onto Trevor. Trevor manages to make his way out of there, though Archangel, they're trying to do what they can to prevent the onslaught of an invade into their base that's coming from the Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Looks like KLH going to make for an easy transition here towards the bot lane. Turret goes down. Inhibitor won't be long of this world either. Archangel, they might want to act now.
Here comes the fight!
Out 2-man knock him onto the members of Archangel. That's going to be the hold. I mean, for Argus, not going to work enough onto Trevor, though. Trevor going to be resurrecting. Take note, key carries of Archangel hitting from the backline. Shiro is the first to fall. Still, the rest of KLH still live to tell the tale. Already 2 members down from Archangel. This might be the end of it. Still, heavier numbers in favor of the Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Can they go for more? Superior already making his way towards top side, really wanting to take down all the structures from Archangel. Can they last long enough, though? That is the question.
Yeah, and you see the value of the Tom Kench instantly allows them to rotate their Baron buff towards the top half of the map. There's already a wave prep. The question is, when does Archangel pull the trigger to stop this?
Turret going down really fast right there. Not much Archangel could do at this point. Members of KLH already still looking pretty healthy once again. Archangel pretty much restrained to making sure that these waves don't push in onto their next turrets. The only saving grace that could keep KLH away from the nexus of Archangel. This is a tall order for the 2nd seed of Team Philippines.
Yeah, 3 inhibitors down is a tough thing to come back from, but if Archangel do have miracles in their bag, now is the time to pull them out. If they can defend here, will mean a lot for the team moving forward. But yeah, tough situation here for the 2nd seeds from the Philippines. Kuala Lumpur Hunters, they're gonna reset. They're gonna pick up their items. They're so massively powerful at the moment.
Oh man, Archangel trying to do what they can, gonna clear off offensive vision, which is non-existent from the side of Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Not that they really need it at this point with what has been left in devastation from the side of Archangel.
Where's he bringing Scuttle? Oh, the bottom mid lane.
Okay.
Oh, it took Aspiel. Nice.
A little bit of small teamwork right there, but that's just a small... That's just a small thing at this point, really. Looks like KLH already gonna group up together as a 5-member unit. Gonna go for that picture perfect finish. Should Archangel not be able to go for a solid enough defense, KLH gonna let those waves push in naturally. Here comes the first super minion wave. Can Archangel clear it out? in a desirable fashion. Look at how fast that Nexus turret is going. That's Nexus turret number 1. Trevor tries to go for a set. That's going to be the arrow landing in onto our head. But the rest of KLH turn towards Rocks, in which case that's going to be Trevor. Resurrecting try to go back a bit. But look at those health bars going, dwindling for Archangel. Looks like this could be it for the Philippines' second seed. KLH converge on that Nexus. That's going to be game. Congratulations, Kuala Lumpur Hunters, the pride of Malaysia, take their first win in the group stage of the Globe Conquerors Manila.